And then there's the attack on the Department of Justice. Treating the Attorney General as his personal lawyer and the department as his personal law firm. Through it all, we would hear the same thing from this president. My generals, my judges, my Attorney General. I want to be clear to those who lead this department who you will serve. Your loyalty is not to me. It's to the law, the Constitution, the people of this nation, to guarantee justice.
If confirmed as Attorney General, Merrick Garland has a big job ahead of him. The independence and credibility of the Justice Department have been drastically eroded under first Jefferson Sessions and then Bill Barr, who not only protected Trump and wielded DOJ power like a weapon against his political enemies, but who gutted the department's ability to protect our civil rights in just about every single way they could think of. Joining me now to discuss this and more is Elie Mystal, Justice Correspondent for The Nation, and back with us, my nemesis, Dr. Jason Johnson, political contributor for MSNBC and The Griot. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Elie, I want to go to you first on this because you and I chatted a bit yesterday. I was trying to text you, and you're like, I'm busy, I'm on deadline. But something you did say that I wanted to ask you about is this assessment that you say, look, everybody wants to go back to where Obama left the DOJ, but that's actually, quite frankly, not good enough. So tell our viewers what you mean by that. Up, Elie, I don't... Oh, sorry, Elie, I think you're on mute. Unmute. Okay, you got it. Go ahead, Elie, answer.
Sorry. So when Merrick Garland gave his speech yesterday, he talked about the historic nature of the DOJ, how it started during the Reconstruction era. What he forgot to mention was that it's largely been a failure, all right? There are 4 attorney generals in history who gave a damn about black lives and about black justice, right? Bobby Kennedy, Janet Reno, Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch. That's the list. Edwin Meese was not out here trying to ride or die for black lives, all right? So what we have is a department that historically has failed in its mission, and simply trying to go back to that failure is not enough, right? I think Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch did good jobs. I think Janet Reno did a good job, but we can do better than even what they were able to accomplish. There are a number of things through executive order, through consent decrees, through an entirely different level of holding police accountable that can be done through the DOJ, and I just hope Garland is up to the task. His record doesn't necessarily suggest that he is. The New York Times, when he was nominated for the Supreme Court, the New York Times did an analysis. In 10 of 14 cases where police criminality or misconduct were on the line, Merrick Garland sided with law enforcement in 10 of those 14 cases while he was a district court judge. That's not great. All right, so maybe he's evolved. Yeah. Maybe he's ready to reach a higher level. People do change and improve, but that's what Merrick Garland has to do, change and improve and bring the DOJ to a new level of justice and fairness.
Jason, let me turn to you on this because you and I talk, we're political nerds, so we talk about this stuff all the time. And the DOJ really has been eroded under both Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr. I mean, they eroded the Office of Civil Rights. They got rid of community policing initiatives during the Trump administration. I mean, there's been a lot to happen. As the Biden administration comes in, what do you think some of the priorities needs to be for this new DOJ?
Well, I can say up front, I think I was on that text chain yesterday because I asked Elie the same question. Look, Kristen Clark is great. Vanita Gupta is great. But this is the #1 priority. There is a long-standing, growing terror movement in the United States of America. That is our #1 concern right now. The second greatest concern is voting rights. We shouldn't have to bring every single force, the entire Avengers team, Stacey Abrams, superpowers, the X-Men. We shouldn't have to do as much work as we did in states like Georgia for people to just go out and participate and vote. And we shouldn't have situations where large numbers of terrorists are marching into the Capitol, kicking their feet up and saying, you know, F your couch, right? Like, that's what we've got happening right now in this country. And Merrick Garland And this Department of Justice needs to be very, very aggressive about stopping these kinds of movements. And the problem is there is no history, there's no indicator that Merrick Garland or Joe Biden are really going to be that serious about these issues. And that is my real concern going forward. Fine, Joe Biden said if black people were doing this, they'd be treated differently. They've talked about the history, but I don't see that kind of passion. And if you don't aggressively attack these kinds of terror movements, and I'm not talking about ideology, I'm not talking about going after conservatives, I'm talking about going after people who engage in terrorist activity, the first 2, 3, 4 years, possibly 8 years of this administration will be completely hamstrung by domestic terrorism.
And can I just, can I just hop in for 2 seconds? Because, like, it's important.
Yeah, let me just say, Ellie, really quick, because Jason said something. I'm coming to you, Ellie, on this, so you can answer this. But I do want to just let our viewers know, because Jason referenced them. Vanita Gupta, who is from the Leadership Conference, she was named as Associate Attorney General. Kristen Clark, who is, of course, from the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, who successfully sued the Proud Boys this week, was named to lead the Office of Civil Rights. And Lisa Monaco, who is well known for folks who followed the Obama administration. She's a veteran prosecutor and public servant with decades of experience at the DOJ. She will serve as Deputy Attorney General. So, Ellie, please go ahead with what you were going to say.
Yeah, look, the team is great. Kristen Clark particularly is on it. Vanita Gupta has been one of my favorites for the Supreme Court shortlist for a while. It's a great team. What Jason said is so important. Domestic terrorism is our #1 threat. And but I just want to add, we do not need new laws to deal with it. All right, we do not need new federal legislation. We do not need a new surveillance state. Insurrection is already a crime. All right. Conspiracy to commit crimes are already crimes. Felony murder is already a crime. What we need to do is not have a new surveillance state commission. What we need is to take the laws we already have and apply them to white people. For like once, let's try it. Tastes just like chicken. Let's take the laws we've got and apply them to white people and see what happens. Because I think that's the way forward, not with new laws and new regimes and new surveillance.
Right. Jason, let me ask you, because Joe Biden, President-elect Joe Biden, has intimated that he's not eager to prosecute the past. However, as you well know, this administration has committed multiple questionable acts, if nothing else. Leave it to the courts to decide if they were legal or not. But you have 600 migrant children who were orphaned. So what's your assessment for this DOJ? Should the incoming administration snatch some wigs as the Trump administration is on their way out?
They need to snatch wigs, they need to snatch chains, they need to take off their earrings and put on Vaseline. Like, you got to go to war with these people because they've gone to war with the United States. That's the thing that has always concerned me about Joe Biden. Here's the thing, Tiffany, there is absolutely, look at Pinochet, look at Mussolini, look at any world leader that has attempted to become a dictator, some who actually became dictators in the United States. There is no historical precedent for letting somebody like that stay. They've got to make sure that Trump and his family are faced with options so dire politically and legally in the United States that they want to leave. If he is allowed to stay here, and people say, oh, this is extreme. No, you can't let Donald Trump walk these streets. If he is able to walk free after he leaves the White House, I know he's got some charges coming from New York. I know he'll have charges coming from different places. But if this man is allowed to walk free, if this Department of Justice says, all right, we're going to put you on a slap on the wrist, be nice, just don't tweet, stay on Parler, he will foment this kind of violence for the rest of this administration. He won't be stopped. And I also think, and this is going to be important for the Department of Justice, they have to investigate members of Congress. Because if you look at the interview that Clyburn did yesterday, and Donna Edwards has mentioned the same thing. Look, where the treason resides, there are members of Congress who are helping and providing information, maybe they're staff members, to bring people into the Capitol.